Our draft coming by way of Ben White. Make sure you join the Facebook group /groups/mock drafts. We've got pushing 20,000, 19.9K members, and we're doing some giveaways, having some fun. This is a $100 giveaway for the best mock draft. So if you like this mock draft, thumbs up, comment, do that whole thing, and Mr. Ben White can get himself $100 for this delicious Lions mock draft. Want to run through it real quick. I'll be honest, I was shocked at how young Jared Goff was. I could have swore he was like 35 years old. He's only 30. So he's in the final year of his contract. He's playing good football. I don't see why he doesn't get another contract, at least get him through this window that they're in of, winning a Super Bowl. He's got at least 5 more years in him for sure, if not more than that. We got Jahmyr Gibbs. Looks like he's a pretty solid running back. We got David Montgomery behind him. Both of them are locked up. Plus, we signed a ton of running backs. Just as some additional depth, so I don't think we have any need there. Sam Laporta, another fantastic pickup with James Mitchell behind him, and we added a couple people behind him, so we should be fine there. Wide receiver, it's getting a little bit more dicey. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to need to get paid, and he will, obviously, but that's going to eat up a little bit of cap, along with Jared Goff wanting to get paid because he's in a contract year. So those two are going to eat up a ton. And then behind him, obviously we're all Lions fans, that is, excited about Jameson Williams, but that hasn't materialized quite yet. Josh Reynolds is a free agent. Khalif Raymond, for whatever it's worth, he had a decent year. I don't know how much we want to lean on Khalif. We might be okay for now, with Raymond and St. Brown and Williams, but at the very least, a little bit of depth wouldn't kill us. I think the biggest area of concern is the offensive line. Everybody is very envious of what the Lions have, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things to be cognizant of. First of all, Penei Sewell, another guy that is just unbelievably talented. I'm still to this day pissed that he was able to fall to the Lions at 7. With that said, also in the final year of his deal. So you got the quarterback, you got the star tackle, and you got the stud wide receiver all asking for big paydays, and they're all going to get it too. But aside from that, Taylor Decker, he's a good tackle, but he's in the final year of his deal and is 31 years old, so we're going to have to look for a long-term solution there. Dan Skipper, Matt Nelson, all free agents, so there's also not really any depth at tackle. Jonah Jackson, our left guard, is a free agent currently, so I don't know if we're planning on bringing him back. I probably would, just because we have so many boxes to check, but as of this time, he is not a Detroit Lion. Frank Ragnow is solid and should be around for a while. 28 years old, and as you can see, Colby Sorsdal is not a super wonderful option for us. Obviously, he could get better from the William and Mary tribe. But I'm thinking right guard needs to be solved, left guard needs to be solved, and we need a long-term option at tackle. So despite the fact that we've got a really good center and right tackle long-term, everything else is a big question mark. On the flip side, again, Aiden Hutchinson was a slam dunk. He's looking real solid. Outside of that, though, we don't really have anybody. We don't have depth, and we don't really have a talented option opposite him, so that would be a relatively high priority. Alim McNeil, another guy that has really come into his own, looked like he might have been a miss early on, but he has absolutely exploded. Next to him, though, again, Benito Jones here, he's a free agent. Tyson Alualu is a free agent. John Kaminsky and Levi Onwuzurike are both in the final years of their deal, with Kaminsky being 29, so he may not get another deal. Even if we bring back Onwuzurike, which I would assume we will after this year, we just don't have anybody else. It's McNeil, Onwuzurike, and Broderick Martin. We did bring in Chris Smith, but, interior defensive line, along with edge, kind of big in terms of, we need bodies and we need some more talent. Linebacker, we got Anzalone, Jack Campbell, and Malcolm Rodriguez signed up long-term. Derek Barnes in the final year of his deal. I don't know if they're super excited about Barnes or not. We're not getting a ton from him. I don't really see a massive need to re-sign him after this year. And then on top of that, who do we have that's really good? I don't really see anybody. So, I know we obviously invested in Campbell, which doesn't look great so far. The run defense is fine, but he's going to need to take one of these McNeil ladder steps over the next couple of years to be worth the pick that he was taken at. either way, another linebacker, I'm not saying first round, but at some point wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And then at safety, again, another huge hit here. A lot of really nice hits. Brian Branch is another one. He's looking like a fantastic football player. Aside from that, though, Kirby Joseph, I don't know about that. Not super pressing. I mean, we're okay with Joseph and Branch for now, but Will Harris is also a free agent. I think Branch has been playing some slot, so we may need to get some more bodies there. So quite a few things that I think need to get addressed. We don't have that many picks, but with that said, let's get started with the 28th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select Laiatu Latu, edge rusher out of UCLA. I'm sure a lot of people will say there's no way he falls this far, but I do think it's possible. There was a time he was like a lock, top 15-ish. He started to slide quite a bit. There's some injury concerns, but certainly a type of guy. I mean, you can see just 96 PFF grade, 94 pass rush, 62 pressures, and 15 sacks on 304 attempts is absolutely absurd. You can see how many games he had in the 90s, half of his season. Almost the entire season was, every game, this was his lowest, it was a 70, which is solid. Very, very good college football player. I think we instantly have the guy opposite Aiden Hutchinson, assuming he can stay healthy. At pick 60, Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan, 6'1", 192. Really had a big breakout year, as you can see, in 2023, 789 yards, 12 touchdowns, 16.4 yards per reception. So again, I talked about wide receiver, maybe not our biggest need, but aside from St. Brown, I don't know. He's probably going to have to come in and replace Khalif Raymond, presumably, although he is a slot guy, so I don't know. Do we just kick St. Brown out, or we kind of rotate that out? I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, but we do need more bodies and more talent at wide receiver. They'll figure it out. At pick 73, Kalen Carson, cornerback out of Wake Forest, 6', 195. Decent football player for the last 3 years at least at Wake. And, from what I've heard, this is the biggest need for Detroit. It's the absolute biggest need. Did I even talk about corner? I didn't even talk about corner. So we got Cam Sutton. That's not doing anything for us. Fedi Melifonwu in his final year. Khalil Dorsey, Jerry Jacobs, Kendall Vindor are all free agents. Stephen Gilmore, Chase Lucas are the only other guys playing corner. It's just not. It's not going to be a good situation. So we got to get some bodies in here. I would venture to guess that free agency is going to be an area that they're just going to have to attack that, because I don't think that they have the people that they need. Speaking of, at pick 91, Max Melton. So we're going to take back-to-back swings here, which I think is probably a good idea. 73 PFF grades, 74 coverage grades, 65.7 passer rating when targeted. Gave up 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 3 pass breakups. Pretty consistent with that. Good football player. A lot of hype for the draft this year with Max Melton. Pretty much, I don't know about Lion circles, but I know among Packer fans, maybe it's just because Bo Melton is his brother and he's a Packer. I'm not sure. But a lot of love for Max Melton. At pick 156, we got guard Zach Zinter. Big need. As I mentioned, we got to get some interior stuff figured out. We might be okay for a little while. Certainly down the stretch, we're going to need to make sure we have some guys. So Zach Zinter is going to come in. He's primarily a right guard. If we need to put him at left guard, we can. I think, again, either way, we need both guards so he can slot in where he's most comfortable. But I'm sure he has that flexibility. Not so much center or tackle, though, so he's stuck at guard. But again, we need both guard spots, so that's not going to be an issue. Really good pass blocker, solid run blocker. He should be able to come in and start immediately. At pick 188, I freaking did it again. I skipped one. I'm just going to look this guy up because I'm tired of messing that up. I know I had him, too. I must have closed it on accident because I remember there's only one of them. Fabian Lovett. 6'4", 318-pound defensive tackle, Florida Seminoles. Must be getting up in age. 2 years at Mississippi State, 2 years at Florida State. He kind of floundered, and then 2 more years at Florida State. He ended up showing up. Again, big run defender, 6'4", 318 pounds. That's where he's going to excel. As far as the pass rush, it's not super existent. He hasn't had a sack since 2021. He's got 5 sacks in his 6-year career. That's obviously not great. 57 pressures on 941 attempts. I mean, if you're looking for roughly 10% just to be average, he should have about 94 pressures. He has 57. Same with this year. You're looking for about 16, 17 pressures. He has 11 and 0 sacks. So he's not a pass rusher. But, you know, you get a stud defensive tackle with no pass rush ability. You know, that's the only way you're going to be able to get a guy that's a talented defensive tackle to fall all the way to 188 because he's not able to do the things everybody else wants him to do. It doesn't mean he can't come in and be a stud run defender. So hopefully that's what he can do. And then Will Reichard, kicker out of Alabama. We don't get a lot of kickers, so this is kind of a exciting upturn. Real solid kicker aside from 2020. It looked like he had a little bit of a slump. But 81, 79, 85, and then this year he had an 87. Now, I'm stupid. I don't want kickoffs. I want field goals. Here we go. 87, 84, 90, and then 92 this year, slightly getting better every year. 100% on his extra points. He is 88% on his field goals. He is 100% from the 20-yard range, 100% from the 30-yard range, 7 out of 10, 70% from the 40-yard range. And then he's actually 5 of 5 from kicks 50 or beyond. So real solid kicker. Kicker situation is Michael Badgley, who's in the final year of his deal at 29. So apparently we're just not happy with him. Fair enough. I know we got Jack Fox, who's a good punter. Jake McQuaid, the long snapper, also is a free agent, so we'll need to address that at some point. But new kicker coming into Detroit. So anyways, again, apologize for all the yawning. I need to get some sleep. But if you enjoyed this, again, do my buddy Ben White here a favor. Here's a recap of his mock draft. Do me a favor and get in there, like it, comment. If you didn't like it, like I've said before, don't do thumbs down. That's just going to hurt my channel more than anything. Just leave a comment and let me know that you didn't care for it for this reason or that reason. I'm going to go through all these and see who had the best video. And by the way, Lions fans, the Green Bay Packers video by Mr. Brandon Woj is freaking dominating. So if you don't want the Packers to win, as I suspect you don't, go ahead and show this video some love. But I'm going to leave it at that. You guys have a good rest.